Hello everyone, my name is Devashish and I welcome you all to this video. So, if you're following my YouTube channel for some times, you might be aware that I have started a new mentorship program on my YouTube channel. So, as a result of that, I received a couple of responses from the security community who wanted to, get into, some sort of discussion or conversation with me. So, due to some other priorities, I actually could not reach out to them. So in this particular month I decided to clear some backlog. So I started to reach out to them. So in today's episode I have reached out to the person. Her name is Nishtha. So the episode actually was shot couple of weeks back, so I was not actually getting time to edit the content and upload it on my channel. So we had a interesting discussion on threat hunting and incident response. So this is not a typical video tutorials where you get to learn reverse engineering or malware analysis or something like that. So this is basically a kind of a knowledge sharing session where I also get to learn a lot of things. So I'd request you to if you have clicked on this video, I'd request you to sit back, relax, and put your headphone on. And I really hope you get to learn something new from today's episode. So without wasting any further time, I'll get started. Perfect. I think
Now I think this should work. And I want to correct you, my name is Nishtha.
Oh, I'm really sorry, Nishtha.
It's
Okay.
okay. People do that.
I apologize. No.
No, I was not correcting people. Okay, they are
Okay.
calling me Nishita.
Ha
But
ha ha.
what happened in TCS? This is a true story.
Ha ha.
For BGC, they called my manager, and he was calling me Nishita for 2 years. He said, "I don't know any Nishtha."
Ah, and you will eventually get into trouble just because of this. But yeah, I think it's a common mistake you
Yeah.
might be encountering, right? Ah, okay,
Yes.
got it. Yeah, yeah, Nishtha,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
We are good, I think. Yeah, so I just wanted to give a background because the reason why actually I do all this because I have spent around 10 years into security as of now, but what I realize, I haven't spent a single penny to kind of learn anything. I whatever I have learned, I pretty much actually get everything for free. So my philosophy is kind of someone in the world somewhere might have actually spent their important time to kind of share something with the community. That's why actually we are able to consume those content, right? So the whole idea is behind that. It's not like I want to make money out of my YouTube channel. No one is going to get rich by making security content on YouTube, I believe.
True.
So so that's why that's how actually I was trying to build some content to kind of share some knowledge around the community. But yeah, I'm getting decent amount of support as well, because most, if you have seen my channel, most of the content I built related to mostly reverse engineering, malwares and stuff,
Yes.
and
True.
debugging. Yeah, so yeah, now I'll let you speak. Sure. Go ahead.
Oh, so
Hmm.
I actually I'm in the security domain past
Okay.
4 years.
Okay.
Okay,
Hmm.
and I started as like CEST. I was doing like fixes, vulnerability fixes,
Hmm.
not
Hmm.
zero days, right? In
Hmm.
TCS, then I moved to Ford
Hmm.
in CERT, proper CERT,
Okay.
incident response, and now I'm working as senior incident responder in Genpact.
Oh.
So like I'm in security domain past 5 years, and previous that I did startup that failed terribly. So I have like development
Oh,
experience.
nice. Very good.
Yeah. So like overall my experience will be 7 years
Oh, perfect.
in IT, and previous that I worked as lecturer for 3.5 years.
Nice.
So then I did my masters, and currently also I'm doing masters in cybersecurity just to enhance my like group
Hmm.
from
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
IIT Kanpur, so that I can like get in touch with people who are in
Right.
security. And my way was like to connect with you was like what I observed in while working in incident response.
Hmm.
First, if you ask me, like I
Hmm.
will give you an example. If you ask me like I want to learn a Python,
Hmm.
I can easily go to YouTube, I can easily go to Google and tell that fresher, okay, boss, do this.
Hmm.
Just go some course for 4 hours,
Hmm.
learn API, learn Django,
Hmm.
create one project, and you are good to go.
Hmm.
At least you are good.
Hmm.
But the same thing, if you ask me, if someone asks me, like, I want to learn incident response, I
Hmm.
can't do the same.
Hmm.
Even if I want to teach someone,
Hmm.
I can't teach because of non disclosure. Like, I
Hmm.
can't show that person my company requirement or anything like that. So that's what I find missing, and I am like connecting with people.
Hmm.
So I was following you,
Hmm.
and I just got this opportunity. It was not mentorship, I would say, because I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a
No, no.
beginner.
It's all about, I try to keep
Yeah,
it as casual as possible. It's
yeah,
not like if I do very formal kind of thing, I don't like, I hate it. Even
true,
my
true,
meetings
true.
are like, I don't like those kind of.
Yeah, yeah, so
So
true. So I saw
just
and I
normally.
found a very honest person, and like that in you. After seeing your one video, that like clicked me was like your experience journey, interview
Ah, okay,
experience
okay.
journey.
Tell
And
me.
I am also using that one word. I would like to thank you for that. Like a insecure manager. Initially, I was telling, "Oh, my manager is not technically sound" or something
Hmm.
like that. Now I'm using that your word, insecure manager. He's an
Hmm.
insecure manager, not a bad manager.
Hmm.
So that's why I connected with you. The
Hmm.
main point was threat hunting.
Hmm.
Okay. The thing what I found out, it's hard to learn.
Hmm.
When I initially started incident response learning, 6 months I was not understanding anything.
Hmm.
Means I was doing work, but not the way I should, which I am doing right now after
Hmm.
coming to Janpack and getting environment or something like that.
Hmm.
So what I found that the fast way to learn and the correct way to learn also.
Hmm.
Okay, so to connect with someone who is in this industry.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that, because if we are learning something from internet and if we are implementing in the enterprise, it is not at all at use. It is not at enterprise level.
Got
If
it.
you query and if you are running or something like that, it will produce lot of false positive and it
Hmm.
won't be up to the mark. So
Got it.
that's why I just got
Got it.
connected.
So basically, if I have understood correctly, your questionnaires are around, will be around, threat hunting, right?
Threat
So
hunting.
basically, Nishtha, the way I actually break down, threat
Hmm.
hunting, entire process of threat
Hmm.
hunting, right? Three
Hmm.
W's. Basically, the first W is like why you are hunting for threats. So
Yes.
this particular section actually, all the research work,
Hmm.
hypothesis creation goes into this.
Hmm.
And the second W is what you are looking for, okay?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I'll come to all of this, okay?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
after that, that is where. So if you do not have industry experience, right? So I
Hmm. Hmm.
think the only part will be missing is where, because you do not have logs or
Yeah.
databases, right? Where
Yeah.
you want to look for. So
Yes.
why basically, let's say you are looking for fin 13, okay? There's a campaign,
Yeah.
APT campaign, you are looking for that. So
Hmm.
you have to do, even if you do not have access to all the corporate logs and stuff, right? Billions
Hmm.
of logs,
Hmm.
you can do this research if anyone is willing to learn this, right? How can
Hmm.
I find as much as information as possible for maybe fin 13 campaign, okay?
Yes.
So those research papers are actually, if you look at it, right, it's publicly available. You will find plenty
Yeah.
of resources on GitHub. You will find plenty of blog posts, right, around it. And there are, FBI also publishes, popular malwares, IOCs and stuffs, right? So
Yeah.
from there actually you can learn about a certain campaign, what all techniques they are, using. And from there you can do all the initial research. Actually, that is the hard part. If you look at it, you do not need access to any corporate tools or anything, to understand how a certain threat actor was actually working.
Hmm.
So those part actually, it's completely available for free to anyone, I believe, right? So the APT campaign, who,
Hmm.
from where the attack was initiated, what all IPs it was trying to connect to, what all TTPs it was using. Maybe it was trying to lateral movement in a certain way. Maybe it
Hmm.
was doing persistence in a certain mechanism, right? All this information you will get in hundreds of blog posts, GitHub and stuff. Even if
Hmm.
you'll find command line string that was used to make initial infection. Maybe if it was an email that was actually delivering the attack or something like that. After that, it comes to hypothesis creation. So I keep the hypothesis creation also part of why, because
Hmm.
that fundamental belief has to be set first, right? Why you are doing it. So the hypothesis, in the sense, you have to make, like, suppose you are looking for a WannaCry ransomware, right? So basically, certain characteristics you have to find out. Based on that, you will have to build your hypothesis. So let's say you are looking for a WannaCry
Hmm.
infection, right? So WannaCry, one of the characteristics will be, maybe it you will see a certain file deletion spikes, because every ransomware has to delete files in a in a very short amount of time before actually they got caught, right? So this is how actually you build your hypothesis. And this is where what type of IOCs you'll be looking for, that also will come to picture, right? So maybe network related stuffs. If certain malware was using, or APT campaign was trying to lateral movement within network, so network connections and how they're communicating with CNC. So
Hmm.
all these things has to come under why. So I'll stop here. So I'll, if you have any question, what I have said so far.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah, I would be having a question that,
Sure.
okay, as per your experience,
Hmm.
okay, this much experience, which area, like I'm an experienced person, where I should start working network hunting first, at network level, at host level,
Sorry,
or
come again. Where you want to start?
what will be,
Hmm.
suppose if I am giving you an enterprise, it is
Hmm.
just an hypothetical
Hmm.
scenario,
Hmm. Hmm.
where you will start hunting first, like OS logs, network logs,
Hmm.
WAF logs. Okay, just
Hmm.
I'm like host
Hmm.
based,
Hmm.
server
Hmm.
based, or that, or you will start hunting them parallelly.
So the thing is, it depends on how you are building your hypothesis, right? So
Okay.
an organization can have EDR systems in place, and obviously it will have, firewall logs, IDS, IPS logs also in place, right?
Mhm.
So I think if you are the only hunter, I won't recommend you to go parallel, because
Okay.
it will be literally really difficult. You might miss some, interesting badness in your system, right? So
Mhm.
I won't definitely recommend you to, go in parallel. But
Yes.
yeah, so suppose it depends on, suppose you're looking for fin 13. Okay, maybe it's some I mean, if it is a ransomware, so I think you should start focus on EDR systems first, EDR logs first,
Mhm.
right? And after that, maybe, if it is WannaCry, it moves parallelly, it connects to CNC and stuff, then you should actually eventually. So it totally depends on the, first section. That's why, it's I say it's very critical, because that's where you build your mindset, in which approach you are actually, hitting the target, right? So that's why, I personally believe the most of the time has to be spent in, finding the why, and
Okay.
building the hypothesis and research. So I don't actually, there is no, single book where you will find out, which logs to. Eventually, with experience, it comes
Huh.
in. Even I am also learning, these things. Every hunt I conduct, actually I get to know something new.
Mhm.
And the thing is, if I move to what you want to look for, there
Mhm.
actually comes IOCs. Okay, what
Okay.
maybe you are looking for, IPs,
Mhm.
CNC IPs. Okay, file names,
Mhm.
and maybe registry keys and all this stuff. There comes the IOCs. Okay, and hashes, obviously I missed the very important one, hashes. Okay, and after that, when the why and what's are answered, right, okay, why you are doing it, what to look for. These are the hashes, and these are basically, these are also, if you look at it, it's publicly available, most of the data, right? You'll find it on GitHub, and there are FBI also publishes a lot of advisories where they will actually, put hashes and stuff. So so once these two are done, right, then where is the most difficult part for a fresher who doesn't have corporate experience? Yeah. So I think, if anyone is fresher, and if anyone is able to, do this why and what part really well, I
Mhm.
don't think, that person won't take much time to actually just run those queries and actually, get those logs. I This is my belief, personally I believe this. Yeah. Yeah, sure, go ahead. I think you had some question.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
sure, like something like I will just give you an example, like
Sure.
many things like sys internal tools.
Hmm.
Okay, those are like legitly also used in the enterprise also,
Hmm.
and those are used like maliciously also.
Hmm.
They both are same. For same we can say for PowerShell also.
Right.
Okay. So when do you hunt in your experience? How you drill down? Like how you separate it? Like from normal. Okay. When we are practicing, okay, it is looking one log and like that. You can
Hmm.
understand in enterprise there will be millions and millions of the logs. Same will be looking legit. So when you are looking at first and how you are separating that, drilling down from a big part to a like exit. Okay, pinpointing it that this is malicious and this is not normal.
Right. So I'm sure, you must be, when you are trying to do this, you have access to some SIM tools like Splunk or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are trying to do that, right, first you have to understand, some baselines. Okay.
Hmm.
Take some, this is your, or let's say there is no compromise or anything like that, and
Yeah.
you have to create the baseline first, right? So maybe, PowerShell is being used aggressively by uh, network admins.
Hmm.
However, the department who are in the HR department, they should not be, using a lot of PowerShell related stuff or something like that. Maybe some jobs are running or something like that. But that is how actually, first you have to segregate. and based on that you have to actually create the baseline. Maybe the knowledge workers, right? Knowledge workers, there's a possibility that they must be using PowerShell and all this tech related stuff, maybe sys internal tools and stuff, right? But if you look at the other section, right, who are in maybe finance department and stuff, so if you segregate the crowd in that manner and then you start creating the baseline, I think it is going to make lot sense when you look at the data, when you run some statistical query on that, and you see a certain spike in PowerShell or related stuff, right? Maybe so things will actually make much more sense when you segregate the crowd first, because a big organization may have maybe 100 different teams, and 100 different teams works in a different manner. Obviously there will be some manual activities because sudden unusual things happen. I mean, I do not have to explain why. I mean, we see it every single day, but that's how actually I look at it. So let me know if I adequately answer your question.
Yeah, true.
Hmm.
But what I was more looking at, because I am daily working as incident responder, so okay, some use cases are already there that we are monitoring. Okay, and like few EDRs are very strong in like, detection, or
Correct.
whatever you say, like Sentinel, Carbon Black, and CrowdStrike.
Hmm.
So, how to build a meaningful use case? They are already good. What I'm telling you, they are already good. I'm not talking now as a fresher. Okay. Some meaningful thing on the top of them, apart from fine tuning. We are doing fine tuning. I'm asking, apart from and like IR daily, what an incident responder is doing. So how you would approach to that, apart from intel driven hunting? I'm telling, like
Got it.
intel also we are daily doing.
Okay.
I'm asking like what we are daily doing, like intel driven. Okay, we got report, we have access to different intel tools.
Got
We
it.
have access to various vulnerability tools also that will like give us like this vulnerability in your environment. This is your attack surface. So what I'm more looking for on the top of this, like all teams, I'm looking for how would you approach in that scenario.
So actually, if I have understood your question correctly, so intel driven hunting is fine, but you want to add some extra value to it, right? That's what I'm.
Yeah, extra value, because already EDRs are also having very good detection. Like they will detect process injection, DLL injection, ransomware also, deletion, shadow copy. So there will be like lot of detection.
Right.
Unusual bypass. I'm talking because now they have evolved a lot. I can see 2 years also, like when I started. So on the top of it, how you're finding something?
So basically, you instead of IOCs are specifically, you have hash. You are looking for whether we have seen this hash in the system. You have an IP and you are looking for that IP in the system. But what I would say, right? When you do when you analyze multiple families of malware or maybe stuffs, right? And that is also come in the Y part. When you are building hypothesis and stuff, then you should be able to you should have good enough understanding. You should be able to correlate things. Okay. By doing that correlation, what happens is you will actually get maybe malware A or family A has a certain characteristics. Okay, you have already have IOCs search watch, we have already done it. Let's not get there, but certain characteristics you have found out. Okay, and maybe family B had a certain characteristics. So you have to actually look it in it that way, right? If you can correlate those A and B characteristics, you might find something C. Even the world doesn't know. Look at Microsoft and other companies, right? They find out we take their intel and actually implement it in our organization. But what they are doing is they are finding those. They are generating those intel for us. I think I haven't actually worked in that level of threat hunting group where actually they are actually there were team actually threat hunting teams, but I was not part of the team. So they are actually doing some sort of those activities where they have to generate the intels, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because now I have enough experience,
right?
How known intel work,
Correct.
How tools work. I have enough experience. I have some experience in malware analysis also.
Correct.
Not reverse engineering EXE, but scripts I'm able to do after practicing.
Correct.
So I was looking on the top of that, completely finding something from unknown land.
And I'll tell you something, I should not name the companies, but a lot of these companies, they do not rely on any automation or anything. They will have there are a lot of small services companies, they have completely outsourced actually the intersection to those. And what they are doing is, whatever alert you get, doesn't matter whether it could be a simple DLL injection. Maybe if you launch a process hacker utility, it will also do DLL injection. But they will inspect each and every I mean, event that happens. Usually, what we do, we'll like, okay, it's a genuine utility. Let's not ignore there, because we have other stuffs to look at, right? But those companies, what I have actually got to know, they do not rely on automation at all when they are actually generating those intels. So they outsource this to lot of service based companies at a ground level. They are effectively delegating those tasks, because a L3 researcher won't look into all this, it's tiny DLL injection. So once they find out something is wrong coming from L1 level, then actually they do a deep dive. But the thing is, if you look at it, right, the way actually if we are not into, I mean, maybe McAfee or AV vendors, right, we do not actually focus in that part. Also look at it, right? They actually, if you look at it, they have outsourced a lot of the stuffs to this service based company. That is what I mean,
Yeah,
what
they
I
have a lot of customers and clients also. Like this.
right, mostly for this EDR related intelligence driven stocks, right? They have outsourced a lot of things, and once actually it comes upwards, right, to the L3 engineer, who are senior researchers. So
Yeah,
they are actually, they will actually get the cream, and they will actually do the event correlation and stuff. So, okay, maybe we have seen something similar here, seen something similar here, so let's see if we can correlate this two and find out something new. So I think you need access to that level of data. By looking at that data, right, maybe organization A's data, it is very hard to correlate those things. So
Yeah.
if you have access to maybe 100 companies data, right, you will be able to correlate events far better than we will be able to do.
But the thing is, if there are 100 company data, we sure need some automation. Like human
Yeah,
completely manually will be very hard.
but you know what, I won't take the company's name, but they are doing it nowadays, right? They're hiring thousands of security analysts. Why do you think they need them, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
they are actually this big AV giants, EDR giants, right? Eventually it comes from them, actually boils down to those.
Yeah, yeah, that I understood. If I went
Hmm.
inside some these EDR giants,
Hmm.
whoever are like Microsoft or
Correct.
something, then it is possible. Okay,
Right.
but it is not possible for everyone to reach there.
Right,
That is
100%.
also like a one case. So that's
Hundred
why I
percent,
was.
100%. So that is why this is they what they do actually on a daily basis is
Hmm.
they correlate event really well. I mean, critical events. Okay, that correlation actually brings down to a lot of look at Google. They find a lot of 0 days in the wild, right?
Yeah,
How they are doing
yeah.
it, right?
True,
So
true.
basically they are picking it up from a lot of the AV vendor or company related stuff, clouds and cloud logs and all this stuff. From there they are actually collecting those. So I think to be able to hunt at that level, I think that limitation even I also have personally. Got it.
The
Okay.
point is that right now we are more over working like an incident responder
Hmm.
in the
Hmm.
real life.
Hmm. Hmm.
That like I am used to
Hmm.
that. So that's why I'm connecting to seniors also, because
Hmm.
that knowledge will be with the person who is in the company.
Correct.
That's how
Absolutely.
he is like only an incident responder knows if like 1,000 alerts trigger how to handle it.
How to
Like
handle
you
it, right?
cannot like learn without being inside the company.
Right, 100%. And these things I completely agree, because a lot of the things has to be masked before they come out, because
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
true.
of the thing, that's a really
We
big
can't even
challenge.
reveal none, like if some sensitive tool or something like that, we can't even reveal that also. Like
So if anyone is willing to get into threat hunting, I believe if that first two W, right, why and what, if they are able to actually, that can be practiced. If you look at it, right, you have the resources and things that are available. And after that, I think it comes to completely the hunter's creativity, how they are event correlation, it's just a word, but if you look at it in practical, it's very difficult. I mean,
I
I cannot just say I'll be creative today, I'll go to
yeah,
office and be creative today. So I think creativity comes when you are actually repetitively doing tasks, and suddenly you have like, okay, boom, I think I have this idea, let's go and try to implement it. That's when the creativity happens, right?
yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah,
Because I have worked, so I know that it's completely.
sure. Yeah, absolutely perfect. Yeah.
And second, have you ever worked like you encountered
Hmm.
like right now there is a lag? There are lots of tools. If
Hmm.
you see insecurity or
Hmm.
something like that,
Hmm.
this is like I'm thinking too far.
Hmm.
Like I might be thinking after 10 years or
Hmm.
something like that. But I'm asking you question right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
That there are a lot of logs. Like
Hmm.
WEF will be different, ADR will be different,
Hmm.
host intrusion will be different,
Hmm.
threat intel
Hmm.
will be different.
Hmm.
So, have you ever worked like normalizing the data and like creating one platform apart from SIM?
Hmm.
I'm not talking about SIM is a
Okay.
solution, I agree,
Okay.
but SIM also has some limitation.
Hmm.
Like you know that when you are working, apart from SIEM, you have to go to specific tools and
Hmm.
search something. This is very hard. I agree. This is
Yeah, yeah.
very. But just I was thinking that, do you have any idea or have you ever thought about it? This always comes in my mind that we need Java in that, in the security platform independent. We can
Okay,
run everything.
okay. Got it. Where everything, I
Yeah.
mean, if I have understood correctly, so you are looking at EDR logs comes in a
Huh.
certain format. Are you trying to normalize the format or something
PCAP
like that?
is PCAP is certain format, WAF is certain format, and all EDR have their own format.
Hmm.
Like initially,
Hmm.
even I work like different company, it takes time to
Hmm.
get acquaintances
Hmm.
to a tool or something like.
Correct.
It might be 15 days or 20 days, but
Right.
like that 15 days and 20 days for us also, it's very stressful,
Right.
because if it is true positive, even we are learning tool, we have to sit for 12 hours, 14
Hmm.
hours,
Hmm.
18 hours, whatever, we have to give the result.
Hmm.
Okay, speed matters in
Hmm.
IR. Speed
Hmm.
matters a
Hmm.
lot,
Hmm.
like you
Hmm.
cannot wait.
Right.
So just I was thinking that this is like a very far vision I am taking right now for
Hmm.
research purpose,
Hmm.
like that normalization of data
Hmm.
where like we can act quickly.
Got it. Yeah, I actually, honestly, I haven't had that thought in my mind, but I think,
Okay.
right now, actually, the way the things are being built up, right?
Yeah.
I think that will be a revolution kind of thing, if anyone. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
Microsoft, if you look at it, Microsoft, they are actually going towards that direction.
Yeah.
What I personally feel.
Mm.
Look at their security product and stuffs, right?
Yeah.
They are actually walking towards that direction, right? They are
Yeah. They are building everything on top of KQL. So if
right.
you know KQL, then
Uh-huh.
it will be easier to work with their products.
Right, correct. I think Microsoft is, since actually if you look at it, IR, I mean mostly are related to Windows, right? Most of the cases you will find out. So I think Microsoft had that vision, but if we have such thing in case, I mean that will be. I mean
Yeah.
I have seen in-house tools, but they are not very, I mean
Huh.
very established tools, but in-house
Absolutely.
tools which actually kind of does them, but it is actually difficult. If you look at it, right, some firewall was written in 2004 maybe. We are still getting those logs. I mean, who will go back to 2004
Sure.
actually rewrite the entire thing,
Yeah,
right? So,
I agree with your
hmm,
word here that
hmm,
we need a revolution here. Like, that
exactly.
will be like Java, like it will be platform independent. And when it was invented initially, if you see coding, everybody was like using different
Correct.
in that platform. That is like needed in security right now.
Correct, 100%. I totally agree with you. Otherwise, and the thing is, I think I think the way security industry is doing business, right? I think a lot
Hmm.
of the people will be thrown out of the business as well if that happens. So that's why I was thinking maybe how,
That that
yeah,
is like which every revolution, like
every
when
revolution
companies are
comes with
playing.
that, right? Correct. I
That
agree,
is
but
correct.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think if you ask me, I think Microsoft had that vision in their
Hmm.
mind. I somehow feel like that because the way I have seen Defender is being is being
Hmm.
grown, right? Look
Hmm.
at it, 10 years back, look at Defender. What was it? It was nothing, right? Now you can actually rely on Defender and stuff, whatever comes along with that.
Hmm.
And they are actually standardizing everything, Windows firewall
Yeah.
logs and EDR related stuffs, everything. So I think Microsoft is working towards that direction, but yeah, I mean, I have never honestly,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, but yeah, that's a good way to I mean look at it. I think
Yeah. True.
good
Yeah,
point of thought.
it is
Yeah.
like my 10 years vision. I'm
Hmm.
not thinking it that it can be done in one way
Correct.
or anything like that. It will take time. I have thought various things, like
Hmm.
we can build as a wrapper in the form of Sigma rules or
Hmm.
something like that. But the underlying problem is still the same. Even if you're writing Sigma rules,
Hmm.
those logs will come from different tools.
Hmm.
And if your rule fails, you have to again go down to that manual approach. So I
Correct.
have thought different approach. I have talked with different industry expert. There is
Hmm.
no solution. Just I was taking your
No,
view
no,
also.
perfect. No, I completely agree, and I think if anyone starts any open source project on that, right, I think that
Yeah,
will revolutionize
yeah,
more.
yeah. True. So I think that's it from me. Like I was having these questions only.
Perfect, sure. So,
So you understood that I don't want to think as beginner level, like
hmm,
that knowledge I already
hmm.
or I'm working on it. I'm more focused on like research level.
The
So
bigger vision, I got it.
yeah,
I
bigger
got it. I got it.
future
Yeah,
vision or
got it.
something
Got
like
it. I
that. So that's
completely.
why I'm connecting to people
Hmm.
who are good in doing work. I got very good friends in my masters also who are very good pen tester.
Hmm.
Those few members I got, those who are in DevOps,
Okay.
DevSecOps, and building tools using machine learning and AI on the security
Got it.
for their company enterprise level. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
like I'm connecting with different
Got it.
seniors and mentors, whatever you can
Hmm.
say, and just getting their idea there. Sometimes something might click in my mind also.
Okay. Got
So
it. Got it. No, no. I mean,
that's,
that is how actually, I mean, that's why discussion is very important.
yeah,
So
true.
maybe if you get into a conversation just to get an idea, nothing will happen. So you have
Yeah,
to, keep getting such
yeah, true,
conversation
true.
and,
Like,
keep reading stuffs. But yeah, Nisha, thank you so much for, showing up for this. I really appreciate. I also actually really, I usually, whenever I have conversation with security folks, I usually learn a lot of things.
yeah, true, true.
Doesn't matter whether that person has experience or doesn't have. So
True,
try
true.
to have an open mind to, so I
Yes,
can
true, true,
take
true.
things from that conversation. So
Yes.
it was really useful for me as well. So thank you so much for your time. So I really hope you were able to, learn something new in today's episode. So I really appreciate your time. So if you like the kind of content I upload on this channel, I request you to, stay subscribed to this channel as well. And if you want me to, make more, podcast type content on this channel, please let me know in the comment section, or you can hit the like button. It just, keep me motivated and, work more towards it. So thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.